Hi everyone, we're back just to give you a bit of an update on what we've been doing over the last month. It's just ticked over to the start of June today, and we've been busy doing hay contracts basically. We're over here, I'm not sure if you'll recognise this, depending on if you know Alma or not, but we're here at the farm just on the corner of town, so we've been past it often enough. Helping the neighbours basically. They used to keep cows on this farm, but they sold them all off a few years ago, so now basically they're not doing much farming anymore, so we've agreed to mow their fields and get them to some hay to sell when possible. And we're just coming up to the last couple loads, but the biggest reason I thought I'd give a bit of an update is because that actually we've had offers in on the contract site for a combining contract, which means that first of all our arable contracts aren't all completely destroyed, so our edits to the crop calendar didn't really affect that, which is very good news. But also it's basically another source of income, because our corn and soybeans will both be later in the year that they'll come about. And I thought I'd just do this little update to explain how we've been doing these contracts, because I basically nerf them from what normally would happen in game. So if we come into here, I'll pull up the screen. Oh, okay, so yeah, since the last time I loaded this save, we've got cultivating contracts, harvesting contracts, so plenty of stuff coming in at last, which is fine. And you can see here that we've actually completed our baling contract. We cleared a couple fields, I think. What did we do? Field 3 here, the old alfalfa field. This little one just by the farmyard, and this long meadow here, but we've still got tractors dotted around here, there and everywhere. And you see as well, we've got some lease costs basically, and what I would used to do is where you go to accept a contract, I press borrow items there and then not use the equipment and just use that to nerf contracts a little bit. But looking into the future, I think because we'd have a lot of vehicles and stuff concentrated around the shop all the time, it basically just adds a bit of lag. My computer's not brilliant, so it adds some lag into the whole operation, which isn't ideal. So I'm not sure, I don't think I'll do that in future. But the main nerf, if we look in here, so we'll unstrap the bales, and you can see once the contract's at 100%, it just sells them. But what we do, so 7647 and 906, we go into easy dev and actually remove all that money we get straight away. Basically, because we're good contract workers, we do the entire field and sell it for the neighbours, and then that's all fine, and in return they pay us the stupidly high prices that contracts are worth in Farming Simulator. And I don't think it would be very fair if we did both at once. So we don't even have a whole trailer load left, so I'll head back and we can load it up and sell it and then complete this last contract. But yeah, I thought I'd take the time to explain the nerfs we did to basically make the game even harder for us, if you want to say it like that. So yeah, it's a bit of a shame about this farm, because I remember when we moved in, cows everywhere. It was always really nice coming around the corner, but I think the the guy there just can't handle it anymore, and his family don't necessarily want to take the farm on yet. So we're doing what we can. Nice place here, but yeah, basically he's just got his meadows left, and clearly not been up to doing it himself, so I'm not sure we'll do all of it for him, but we'll help out where we can. And in return, I do wonder if we've been thinking about hiring some help, basically, with the reintroduction of contracts and everything. I think we could do with the extra work. So we might ask him if he knows anyone in the local area, or even if he'd come and work for us part-time, just when he feels free, as he's given up all his cows. So I'll pop in a bit later when we collect our money, and then we'll just have a chat to him, see what it's about. But anyway, I think we've literally got, is that 2 bales down there in this one? 40/20's been used well. So yeah, just the final push, and then we've got a plan. You can see we're nearly out of diesel there, so we'll get this done quick. And then we've got a lot of stuff to round up and bring back, because it's scattered all over the place, which is always the way, seemingly. But yeah, things are looking up. As you can see from our bank balance, we've got nearly 60k in the bank, plus we've got to remember that $13,000 loan has already gone out, so we were probably up to $70,000 before this morning. Looking really positive, and I definitely think we'll be getting more land in the end of this year or the early next year, which is great. And hopefully we can use contracts to really push it up. If you remember, we were kind of debating doing contracts or getting the forest cleared so we could plant our own crop, but I think the forest is probably best left for times when there aren't any crops in the field, sort of winter time, when there's nothing else to do. And while there's contracts, we might as well take them. It does mean we'll potentially lose the whatever crop was on that field, or whatever crop could have been on that forest, but not the end of the world. So the question is, after this, now that cultivating contracts are in, whether we do them or get the harvester. You see we missed a strip there. We've been generally quite good with our mowing. And as you see, we're selling all the bales for the neighbour, so that's more than Farming Simulator encourages you to do. Yeah, I think we might try to get the combine out and give it a spin, but we could really do with some hired help if that's the case. We don't want to be running about starting and stopping the combine and doing it all on our own. So I think when we sell all this, what we'll do is just run into the diner and places and just ask if they can, or if we can write out a quick ad and pop it up in the window. Okay, I think that's the lot. I wonder if we can get 40/20 on here, just so we have slightly less of a job tidying all our stuff up that we've left everywhere. Should fit no problem really. As long as we watch the load. Be a bit closer than I thought, but yeah, it'll work. Strap everything down nicely. And yeah, that just about clears the lower links. Okay, we're all set. Not the neatest load, there's a huge gap there, but it is what it is. So I'll catch you when we're ready to sell these bales. Okay, so here we go. Make sure not to hit a pedestrian or the signs there. And hopefully the people at the livestock market don't mind taking our bales sort of off with the 40-20 there. We can always shuffle it around if they like. This is always a bit tight, but nothing we can't handle. Okay, we've just sold the last of those bales and just popped into the farmhouse for a chat. Got paid, I think, just over $15,000 for that big long field, which was the last one we needed payment for. Obviously, paid the farmer back for those bales that the game thought was ours when they were his. So that's all right. And just been chatting a bit. He's not actually terribly old, but basically he's farming isn't his only source of income, and he was finding with his current setup the cows and his older equipment were just costing too much really, so he decided to scale back, sell off the all the cow side of everything, and then his equipment just hasn't been on the button, easy to go, so he hasn't bothered doing mowing and bits and pieces really, because they all need some care and repair. But what he did say is he'd be open to some part-time work for us, given that we're the ones paying for all the maintenance on our machines. So that's quite positive. And I think we might have found our first farm worker. So his name is Nate, and obviously he'll still keep all his fields around here and give us work whenever we want, I guess, really, doing grass. But said he'd also be able to run a combine, run a tractor for us time to time, which is very nice of him. And with that, not to sound severe, we'd better clear off his property. And by that I mean round up all our stray bits of machinery that are dotted here, there and everywhere. We've got the case there with the windrower that will probably drive back, but we should be able to fit the tedder on the trailer here behind the 40-20, so that should be good. And then we've also got the white and the baler, so yeah, I'm not sure what the best combination would be for loading everything up, but I think we just run the tractors back around the road, other than this John Deere that A is already on a free trailer but also is low on diesel, and it would be a really bad end to our series of hay contracts if we ran it out of diesel and then had to spend all the time filling it back up and bleeding it on the side of the road or something. And all our equipment's pretty filthy, so got some tidying up to do. And then planning what to do for the next while. Shouldn't need the PTO. So should be nice and lined up here. Yeah, perfect. Not too bad, there we go. Strap everything down. And we'll head back up to the yard and I'll catch you all in a little bit. Okay, we're just on our final run here. And I did notice as well the case fuel level is dangerously low, so well, I say dangerously, we're nearly back, and we have plenty really. No steep hills to go up and have all the fuel run out of the fuel pickup and starve it or anything daft. So been doing some thinking on the drive, had a look at the contracts, and we have agreed to do 2 harvesting contracts in the end out of all of that, and they are fields 26 and 23, so they're really close to the sell point, which is important because with only us and Nate running the combine, we're going to be a bit hard pushed. If we did say these fields over here, he'd be having to wait for us constantly to come back from town with the trailers. So I think until we get a third person, it's probably more cost effective just to be quite selective about our contracts. But we won't get onto them today probably. I think what we'll do is set up the combine overnight, or just into this afternoon. We'll spend the rest of the day just selling our greenhouse produce that's built up a bit the last couple of days. Actually, I think we have our first boxes of lettuces from those open garden beds, so that's really good. So just get this in here. You can see we've got a bit of a queue building up, so well, yeah. Join the queue, so to speak. I'll walk out quickly and just take a look at our beans because they've come up in their lovely narrow rows. Case 8, 9, 10 is still here. Look at that, and these fields won't need to be weeded because they're all they were ploughed. So you can see here the bit that we didn't quite catch on camera. We literally just like lost a row basically. So if I'd been a bit more careful with how I drove the field, we wouldn't be quite as patchy. But it's maybe realistic doing it without GPS and everything. And in real life, obviously, you'd still get the row out of the planter. It would be just a bit gappy. So yeah, you can see here nitrogen and pH perfect, and the same with the beans, so that's all good. Our pigs are all fine, I think, but they will need feeding. Well, food will need buying for them soon because they're running out. We've got actually 3 pallets of strawberries here, just 1 of tomatoes, and 2 of our nice homegrown lettuces. With more on the way. So that's that. I think I'll catch you all in the next video. Just a short one here, but we've figured some stuff out. Most importantly, we've got talking with Nate over down by the farm and got our first real worker who will be put to work tomorrow. So yeah, we'll drag the combine out, set it up, do some inspections and get it all set for rye and wheat. I don't know whether I said, but that's what's in the fields. and then yeah, get ready to head out tomorrow with probably the white and a grain cart and that. So catch you all in the next video. Oh, and I'm back already. Just a quick note, basically, the two things in the last video were the sort of very dark black textures left by the row markers on that planter that we also saw when weeding last time. Basically, that was just a texture error due to, I don't know why it first came about, because it was fine initially, and then the game just decided it wanted to throw up an error and not load the texture I installed, so I changed its file path and and now it's fine again. And the other thing was I forgot to send off all the soil samples. I was being a bit silly, and they were just sat in this, which is what I was saying about there still being full plastic cups. There are still empty ones, I think. Plastic, metal, who knows. Little tin things maybe. But yeah, sold them, or bought them, I guess. So that's all right. That should now be up to date. Yeah. And our pH and lime is, oh, yeah, pH is all right. Nitrogen we could probably do with a bit more, so we'll look into that. Maybe if we use the white, which is now all washed and over there, use the white on the gravity wagon and get the 8910 back on the fert spreader, just to give our fields a nitrogen boost coming into the second cut of the year. Yeah, we're just hard at yard work here, so see you all in a future video. This time, actually, hopefully. Cheers.